Hi, welcome back to the channel. Going to talk about the Battlefield 6 Season 4 update. Have to just let you guys know right now, this update contains essentially nothing of importance. I'm talking about the patch notes specifically, okay? Just want to avoid any confusion. We're going to be talking about the patch notes in this video. Unfortunately, even though this is a main season update, it is the first update regarding Season 4, they just decided to essentially do nothing important. And have to be honest, I would not be talking about this at all if I didn't have a YouTube channel, but I know you guys are expecting a patch video, so here I am making the patch video. If you enjoy the video and find it informative, be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and swing by the streams. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders and this YouTube channel. I will link the patch notes in the description if you want to follow along. Basically, we already know what we're getting. We're getting a Subaru Reef and then Wake Island later in the season. We're getting a couple new weapons, a couple new vehicles, and you guys get the gist of it. It's essentially the default Battlefield 6 content we are accustomed to receiving. Some of the weapons look interesting, particularly the VSSM. Especially if you played Battlefield 2042, you will remember the BSVM from that game and how utterly overpowered it was. I'm interested to see if the VSSM is similar. In terms of major updates coming in this patch, they improved swimming behavior. They improved vehicle interaction with water. They're adding some sort of new wave system, so we will have to figure out how that affects using the boats. Maybe it will create some interesting gameplay dynamics there. According to them, they've also made audio improvements. They say the audio feedback has been improved across vehicles, stationary weapons, sea movement, underwater moments, battle royale insertion, and obliteration. They also made some UI and HUD changes, and the biggest one that people are just misinterpreting is they did make some very, very small changes to player movement and combat polish. Getting into the specifics of the patch notes themselves now, I'm going to cover the movement first. Guys, I just have to be honest, the community reaction to these extremely inconsequential movement changes can only mean one thing. The majority of the Battlefield player base are illiterate lemmings. If you go on Reddit, if you go on Twitter, even under the patch notes itself, you will see people celebrating a movement nerf and people saying, oh, Enders is going to be really angry. No, you're just illiterate. And I'm using that term deliberately. At this point in time, I legitimately believe most of the Battlefield community cannot read. The changes they made to the movement are as follows. Number 1, slide activation now requires a slightly higher movement speed, reducing cases where sliding could trigger without sprinting first or while crouch sprinting. Number 2, sliding no longer re-triggers when the crouch hold input remains held after an initial slide. Number 3, sliding no longer triggers when landing from a fall or jump if the crouch hold input was released before touching the ground. The only thing that could be considered a nerf is the slide activation now requires you to be, I think, at full movement speed in order to use the slide, but that is completely irrelevant because if you were playing the game normally anyway, you're always going to be at full movement speed and you're probably going to be sliding in the correct timing, in the correct situations. And the rest of these changes are edge case fixes to reduce strange instances where you would slide when you didn't necessarily mean to slide. They didn't reduce movement speed, they didn't reduce jump height, they didn't reduce the amount of slides you can do in a particular time period, they didn't nerf the distance, they didn't nerf the momentum, they didn't nerf the speed. I mean, I don't know what this community is reading. And sorry for the frustration in this video while I'm recording it, but at a certain point, it gets depressing witnessing a vast portion of the community not even be able to comprehend 3 sentences. But yet, these same players turn around and feel as though they're informed enough on the gameplay of the game to suggest changes to the gameplay. Here they are, suggesting what should happen next, as if they understand the game at all, and as if we should respect their opinion and listen to them. So again, apologies for the frustration, but hopefully some of you understand exactly where this is coming from. It gets exceptionally old. Moving on to some changes regarding swimming. Swimming has essentially been revamped. So if you guys have a mean butterfly stroke, you can probably whip it out this season. In terms of vehicle changes, I shit you not, there are only 4 changes listed in the patch notes. Does that mean there are only 4 changes they made in the gameplay? Possibly not. DICE is notorious for not listing changes in the patch notes, but seeing as this is a naval warfare season and vehicle gameplay is so important, it is downright shocking to me that they haven't put more of a focus and emphasis on improving the overall vehicle gameplay. For instance, there's a bug in the game currently where missiles are going through flares. How are jets supposed to play the game on these naval maps if they have no cover to hide from the infantry players locking them, and when they get locked by the infantry players, the missile goes through their countermeasures anyway? But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the top change is they made sure the helicopter rotors now affect vegetation more realistically. Thank God. Moving on to the gadget section, where there appears to be something of substance to talk about, they actually managed to fix a bug with the Javelin that allowed it to lock onto vehicles through the map. The next two sections, weapons and maps and modes, have nothing of substance to mention. Moving on to UI, where there are only a couple things that actually matter. One of them is incoming hit radial blur has been reduced near the screen center and now attenuates more towards the screen edges, making damage feedback less intrusive. This is referring to when you get shot and it sort of blurs your screen. Now the blur will be focused towards the edges of your screen, so basically visibility is slightly improved. The other thing in the UI section I felt was good enough to mention is the fact that spotting is now blocked while you are underwater, so you don't have to worry about having a giant spot symbol above your head while you are diving and swimming. Moving on to the audio section, unfortunately, there is nothing here mentioning footstep audio. It is still incredibly inconsistent, as I'm sure many of you know while playing the game, and I know you guys do because you comment about it on the videos all the time. They do say they improved audio responsiveness for C vehicles, and they improved audio responsiveness for stationary turret movement, but, I mean, once again, I'm sorry I'm being this way in this video, but I just have to say it. They have to fix the footstep audio because it is incredibly inconsistent. It is insanely frustrating. For whatever reason, the walls in Battlefield 6 appear to just completely cancel out any footstep audio instead of heavily muffling it so you can still hear it a little bit. There is absolutely something wrong with the audio occlusion in this game. So I just really hope they can find some way to eventually address that. And the final thing worth mentioning in this patch note is pertaining to RedSec and the fact that they have nerfed the assault kit in a big way. Many, many nerfs to the grenade launcher perk tree, which was being spammed in RedSec. So, barring any unforeseen, unmentioned changes come the release of Season 4, I have to say the patch notes in particular for Season 4 are a bitter disappointment, and I cannot for the life of me understand why they don't address some of the low-hanging fruit issues that all of the community are screaming about at the top of their lungs. Allow me to list a few. 3D spotting. Everyone fucking hates the way it works in this game. I think if they were to adjust 3D spotting, I think people would be very, very happy about that. I already mentioned footstep audio earlier. Time to kill. Time to kill is not a low-hanging fruit problem, but it is, in my opinion, a top issue of the game, and I see absolutely no reason why this shouldn't be addressed, because the time to kill is just part of the frustration of playing this game. The netcode can't handle the time to kill. It feels like you instantaneously die. It is an objective statistical fact that Battlefield 6 has the fastest overall time to kill, with it being somewhere around 150 milliseconds at its fastest, but even at its slowest or most average time to kill, it's still about 200 to 250 milliseconds, and that is still blisteringly fast, and much faster than previous Battlefield titles that I think everyone is used to. I think it's their job to fix the game, and they should really take the TTK more seriously, even if it means that this is going to be a massive undertaking. It will be worth it in the end. Some other issues I thought of putting in here, obviously I mentioned the lack of vehicle attention in this update, even though this is a naval update. And on top of that, I would love to see some class balance stuff. It just seems like they forgot that support is the ultimate god class in this game, particularly in multiplayer. My best guess for why they are not willing to address class balance is, once again, RedSec has gotten in the way, ladies and gentlemen. RedSec has different class balance compared to multiplayer, and if they wanted to fix the multiplayer class balance, they would have to address it in both the multiplayer and RedSec, and of course that creates a bunch more work for them and makes the change incredibly unlikely to ever happen. So yeah, not the happiest video. However, I think my reaction is 100% justified. But, you know, I anticipate people saying the same old bullshit in the comment section. Oh, and Enders is negative. Oh, here Enders goes again. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Whatever. Hey, if you enjoy the video and you know this channel is where you get the real information, hit the like button, hit the sub button. And be sure to follow the streams. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders and this YouTube channel. Check out the second channel where I am significantly more happy. That link will be posted in the description and the pinned comment. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching. I have to be honest, I'm not heavily anticipating this Season 4 release. I think Season 4 is going to be a little rougher than I would have liked. But with that being said, I will reserve judgment until Season 4 releases. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.